A big month for gaming here in August, okay? The two biggest releases on the horizon, of course, Black Myth Wukong, which I've been paying a little bit of attention to, mostly because, well, they exposed the Sweet Baby Inc. hustle a little while back, and I did some digging when it came to the gameplay, and yeah, it's kind of Souls-like, but it's enough of a departure from that formula where I'm genuinely interested, and that I've seen, their proposed monetization. I have seen what they have planned going into the future, and I'm very intrigued. I'll probably pick it up maybe by the end of the year or not, but if I'm to go ahead and buy another game throughout the rest of the year, which, especially looking at the landscape, Black Myth Wukong is right there up at the top. And then, of course, within the next couple of weeks, we have Star Wars Outlaws. So which way, Western gamer? I think we're heading east there, gentlemen, because, well, you look at the way. Like I said, with Black Myth Wukong, their monetization scheduling, yeah, it's pretty sparse. It's like, yeah, we got a game that we've been working on for a while. Hopefully you enjoy that, as opposed to what Ubisoft is out here doing. Rings awfully familiar to another game based off of a popular franchise that came out and had all of these planned expansions, battle passes, story-related content. Really looks awfully familiar, huh? Ubisoft is trying hard to monetize Star Wars Outlaws well into next year. Season passes and additional story packs, including characters like Lando, and yeah, because if you go and you shill out over $100 this time around, $130 in fact, you can get the exclusive mission of Jabba's Gambit, where you could visit the iconic Jabba the Hutt in Jabba's iconic palace, and then you could also get Han Solo's clothing, and then Chewbacca's iconic bandolier for your goofy little Chewie replacement, and all of that you get on launch day, which I thought we used to deride companies for having launch day DLC, but I'd like to see that. I'm glad that practice continued unabated, mostly because journalists will shill literally anything. But yeah, then you have story DLC planned out, Wildcard, Pirate Fortune, more cameos, like, yeah, from Lando. We know that Han's right now in Carbonite, Jabba's place. So, okay, cool. Are you going to bump into the Skinwalker, Luke Skywalker? All right, yeah. And by spring 2025, when a Pirate's Fortune comes out, is anybody going to care? Yeah, I kind of doubt it. Mostly because what used to be one of the big death knells was how poorly optimized these games are upon release. And well, we see this is happening. But normally you'd get that, okay? That was kind of the indication for, the current direction we saw Rocksteady Games take, is because of the poor optimization of Arkham Knight back in 2015, how absolutely abysmal that thing ran on PC, and the fact they had to take it down after a couple days release, that for all intents and purposes tanked the company. And it wasn't until years later, when everything started to get smoothed out, that game ended up eclipsing their most recent release that Star Wars Outlaws is clearly trying to emulate. But PC gamers roast Star Wars Outlaws after system requirements revealed. I don't know what they are, but I'm imagining it's going to be laughable, because we've seen the gameplay. I showed you in a couple of videos back, that 1 minute of the 10-minute slice that IGN got, and well, it wouldn't look out of place if this was a GameCube release. You love those JPEG explosions in the background, the 6 characters that are on screen. It's hilarious. Mahler's been playing Star Wars Bounty Hunter on stream. I caught a little bit of it here and there. That gameplay, unironically, looks 1,000 times more engaging than the Ubi slop we're about to be fed here in a couple of weeks. On the official Star Wars Outlaws website, and yeah, that game's it just got a remaster. It's nigh on 20 years old. And especially the voice acting sounds better. But Ubisoft revealed the recommendation specifications to achieve 60 FPS at 1080p, requiring an RTX 3060 Ti. Are you having a laugh? For 1080p 60 and 3060 Ti? Oh my god. Or better graphics. The graphics preset will need to be set to high, with an upscaler set to quality. Wow. 3060 Ti. That's It's not an inexpensive card, by the way, and that's a reasonably new card, or yeah, an AMD RX 670 XT. Jesus Christ. What else? 16 gigs of RAM, 75 gigabytes on an SSD. Oh my god. And that's for recommended. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's not even ultra. 3060. Minimum requirements, GTX 1660. Yo, man, that thing's got to run like a flip book at that rate. Holy crap. Or better graphics card. Well, yeah, that's set to low. Yeah, it won't be 1080p. You're out of your mind if it's going to be 1080p. Digital Foundry will have that broken down, and it's going to be lucky to be 900p at best, and 30 FPS. Ugh. High requirements. Oh, Lord have mercy. What do we got? Okay, for high, you're going to need an RTX 3080. Oh, Lord. And a Core i5 1160. This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. And then Ultra, you get 4K 60, 4080. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay. On that gameplays, YouTuber Stone Loki detailed that in order to play the game via the minimum requirements, PC players would have to shell out at least $1,200. Yep. Recommended level, he explained, would cost at least $1,528. High specs would cost at least $1,645. And to play it at 4K, yeah, it would be $2,362. Because, oh, God, I haven't checked the price on a 4080. But I'd imagine they're probably running you, I would have to shop in Canadian dollars, but I'd imagine it's probably close to $1,000, if not more, for a 4080. Because that right now, I think, is top of the line. Yeah, you notice that your graphics card costs, okay, $1,100 to play the game at 4K. So yeah, for Canadians, it's probably running you closer to $1,300. That is absolutely ridiculous for a game that looks out of date 5 years ago. But compare and contrast that to what Black Myth Wukong is going to be running on a PS5, okay? For performance mode, you're going to get a full-ass 1440p, 60 FPS, and then, yeah, you can get a stable 4K 30 on a PS5. On a base-ass PS5, which its GPU is comparable to a 1060. Brother, what are we doing over there at the Ubisoft? Making bad games, apparently, because more Star Wars Outlaws clips mocked for terrible AI. Yeah, I showed you these before, but oh wait, there's more. Bad combat, horrible physics, and ridiculous strong female protagonist moments where, yeah, her open hand slap, oh my god. Brother, K-Vess Mr. Calling. Okay, she would be a dead ringer in power slap, because we've seen this bitch box in many a stormtrooper's back of their head and knock them cold. But Grum shared a couple of clips featured in a recent YouTube video by Fleekzoid. In one, oh yeah, Grum's mocks the immersive takedown that is depicted when the game's protagonist, yeah, grabs the stormtrooper's helmet, spins him slightly, and then slams him to the ground head first, knocking him unconscious. So what do we have? Oh yeah, this one right here. I mean, yo man, what? How are you taking down a full-grown ass man? Okay, how are you moving his head to the side, throwing him down, and knocking him cold out? Okay, I don't even think Brock Lesnar could do that, but this bitch is out here doing that. Come on. When she is, like, look at how short she is in comparison to a stormtrooper. She's crouched over and then just, yep, oopsie daisy. That's what passes for stealth combat from the studio that brought you Splinter Cell. Get out of here. The dropping of the weapon, yeah, I brought up in another clip, showcased in Fleekzoid's video. We are so close to sending the first salvo against Ubisoft's DI infected tripe. Do not buy this game. It's up to you. Gamers have a voice. And yeah, the more I see from this game, the less I'm inclined to even buy that, even when it's deeply discounted just for a good belly laugh. But people that are shilling this, because I've unironically heard people looking forward to this, but they also come from a certain class of reviewer, okay? Some might call them professional reviewers. Some might call them games journalists, or at least game journalists adjacent. German YouTube channel removes their Star Wars Outlaws preview video after admitting a third-party agency had to approve it. Are you telling me a little quid pro quo is happening here? Are you telling me that somebody might be getting a little payola for positive coverage? German YouTube channel Pete Smeet, sure, removed their Star Wars Outlaw preview video after admitting a third-party agency had to approve their nearly 1 hour reaction video after spending 4 hours with the game. In a post to YouTube, Pete Smeet shared that they removed their Outlaws preview from their channel. As translated by DeepL, one of the channel's owners, stated, "Hi, Peter here. We've taken the Star Wars video offline, okay, not because we wanted to sweep something under the carpet or anything, but because it should never have been published and we don't want it on the channel." We'll talk a little bit about it in this next Pietcast episode. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, and I believe you with your rainbow background on your profile picture. I totally believe that you're being honest. This post came in the wake of the comment revealing that a third-party agency had to approve the Star Wars Outlaws preview video, oopsie daisy, as translated by DeepL. The channel posted, "I completely understand the arguments that were made here and that was not correct. I had the opportunity to play the game for 4 hours and it was edited into over an hour of video. As part of the review process, the entire video was thrown back to us as an intermediary agency, not Ubisoft." Oh, that makes it better. Asked for a lot of changes, especially for the wording at the beginning. Oh, we said, yeah, we didn't have the greatest of time with it. And they said, no, you need to say that you really enjoyed and are super looking forward to this very brave, very stunning addition to the Star Wars universe. This was a huge miscalculation. Oh, I'm sorry. But since I personally thought this game was really cool, I didn't see that as a big problem. Ooh, that's kind of a red flag. Sorry, you don't have to pre-order a game, of course, so you can buy whatever you like with your money. I absolutely enjoyed this version I was shown. The process behind it was for the ass. That's obviously a translation issue, and I'm sorry that we didn't print more against it, but let ourselves be beaten wide open. Sorry, big sorry for that. That's an interesting way to phrase that, but this isn't a unique situation. In fact, Ubisoft buttered up YouTubers and influencers with trips to Disneyland and boat tours to promote Star Wars Outlaws. Boat tours at Disneyland? Flying people out to an amusement park to review your game? Now, I understand that Ubisoft, Capcom, a lot of the big publishers that are out there, they'll hold these press events. They'll fly out influencers to promote their game. It's smart marketing, right? This has been the practice in the industry, not just specifically in gaming, for a very long time. It's an effective way for companies to go ahead and buy influences, buy good standing to popular people to get the message out there. Hollywood's been doing it with screeners and flying people out to Ann's Chinese Theater for a very long time. So I'm not going to say that Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws is breaking the mold on this one. It's just, this is interesting. And this is speaking specifically on the games industry. This type of quote-unquote review experience has been a problem for a while, because I seem to recall, ooh, Lord have mercy, maybe back in the early 2000s, I forget specifically which Call of Duty it was. It might have been for like Black Ops or Black Ops 2. Like, we're talking a long time ago at this point in time, where a bunch of personalities, okay, like game trailers, IGN, those types, they were flown out to like a very tropical location to play an exclusive snippet of the campaign and some of the multiplayer in a very luxurious resort. They were given all of the trinkets, bunch of exclusive merch. It was pretty scummy and it was well discussed. Like, this is something that you can go back and take a look at. I'm just forgetting specifically what game it was, but I know it was definitely for Call of Duty, because there were helicopter tours that were also associated with it. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything when it comes to the gameplay? Like, can we talk about the multiplayer experience? Okay. No. We had a great time flying from island to island. So yeah, it was a problem then, and it's still a problem now. A new investigation into Ubisoft's marketing campaign for Star Wars Outlaws reveals the company buttered up YouTubers and influencers with trips to Disneyland and boat tours, giving them access to 4 hours of gameplay footage. And yes, I'm seeing that a lot everywhere. I played 4 hours of Star Wars Outlaws, and here's my honest opinion. Sure it is. German YouTuber Cyberpunk 20XX. Oh, another German content creator. Interesting. Discovered multiple YouTubers and influencers revealed how they were actually influenced by Ubisoft as part of the company's largest marketing campaign ever. First, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot revealed the company was rolling out its largest marketing campaign ever for Star Wars Outlaws. Why would they have to do that for a game that was just so revolutionary? It looks like it's so much fun. It's Star Wars after all. All right. It's Star Wars, after all, at the lowest point in the franchise's history, I think we can unequivocally say. During a recent earnings report call, Barclays' Nick Dempsey asked, when I look at the guidance for quarter two, and I assume something similar for back in catalog in quarter two as quarter one, kind of getting 200 million to 230 million euros, that sort of range. The new release, Star Wars Outlaws, when I look at the $70 and then assuming that you might get from it, I'm getting to around 5 million units, something in that sort of bracket. First of all, could I be going wrong with that thinking? Secondly, are you just being pretty conservative conservative in your guidance because I guess given the interest in the game, we might have thought it would be more than 5 million units. Okay, so that's their prognostication. That's what they're thinking they're going to be shipping. Oh boy, that's lofty goals for this one. Guillemot responded, well, we can't comment on the very numbers you are quoting, but what we have factored in is a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects that the fact that it is among the most awaited games in the industry this year and is a really strong positive community sentiment. I know firsthand for that because we bought them. And also the fact that we're coming for the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for a Ubisoft game. So that's what we've been factoring in the second quarter. Fantastic, Eve. Thanks. As translated by YouTuber Kartoffelkonig. He said, we are the largest marketing campaign ever for a Ubisoft game, and I can definitely confirm the last part as I was invited by Ubisoft to come to Los Angeles. So from Germany to Los Angeles. Okay, and play the Outlaws event. The location was really polished up, and there was a day in Disneyland and something like that. And so Ubisoft spent a lot on that. Well, Disneyland, you know, you got Galaxy's Edge and all that stuff. So, yeah, okay. Cyberpunk 20XX shared footage from British influencer and YouTuber Louise Julie, whatever, who revealed that she was brought to Los Angeles by Ubisoft early and taken on a boat tour that she claims was originally a whale tour to see if you could spot any whales. She went whaling in support of Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, so basically they invited a bunch of UK creators and got there early because our flights were booked early because it was a very long travel time. And it was like a 12-hour journey. Well, yeah, of course you would focus in on that, but you got paid and you got flued out for that. Cyberpunk 20XX also confirms that Ubisoft was indeed paying for these international and domestic flights for YouTubers and influencers. Cited a post from Chewy, which states Ubisoft and Star Wars flew me out to California to play Star Wars Outlaws, interview the game director and lead writer, and meet the cast. I am beyond grateful for this opportunity. VIP a tour of Disneyland tomorrow. Oof, as noted, it's another individual noting Ubisoft was paid, yes, to take these YouTubers and influencers to Disneyland as well. That's absolutely crazy, and one of the more recent marketing campaigns that I can recall, and you know, it's a game that's near and dear to me, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like, you had Square Enix and the developers set up a whole bunch of different events where they had different influencers out there to play the game, but they held those events in Los Angeles specifically to play the game, and then in Las Vegas a little bit after that, but they weren't flying anybody out. And if you missed your opportunity to play in Los Angeles, you could go to Las Vegas if you're so inclined, but if you missed your opportunity, tough titties, okay? You could play with the rest of the public at TGS, or wait until we're back in town next again. We're not flying anybody out. Holy crap, that's a far cry, pun not intended, from what Ubisoft is doing out here. And if it's not enough where they have to buy their support, well, they'll just go ahead and bought their support, okay? Ubisoft Forward coming up, on June 10th, okay? So Master of the TDS has been compiling this list for a very, very long time, and oh boy, some of the wording is awfully suspicious. And the game set for release August 30th, okay, so it comes out at the end of the month, okay? It will not be surprising to learn that the bots are once again trying to drum up hype for this game, and yeah, and at first you don't succeed, bot again. So yeah, there's multiple pages. Look at all this stuff. Look at it. Look at it. Like just one random post. That's no moon. That's a good sign for Star Wars gamers. Return of Death Troopers in a Star Wars game. That's going to be epic. And look at the view counts on that stuff. Look at the names associated with it. First name, first initial, last name, bunch of numbers. Names, bunch of numbers. That's fantastic news for Star Wars fans. This is very great, very original. I love Empire. I love Star Wars. Very authentic, very organic engagement that we are getting right here. Like I said, this is standard practice in the very shady games industry. Wizards of the Coast and D&D are being accused of a massive paid influencer campaign paying off YouTubers to cover the new player's handbook while simultaneously hitting non-sponsored channels with copyright strikes for covering the book out of a network. Yeah, exactly. And this is the next step. This is the next progression where if you're not in the group, you are firmly out of the group. And that's why there are so many people unwilling to levy harsh criticism by saying, yeah, the game looks good. I got to play it, and we had a very great time at the 5-star resort that Ubisoft put us in. And yeah, I really look forward to K-Vest traversing the galaxy. It's going to be so much fun because these people so desperately want to be in the in crowd, when in reality being a part of that crew in 2024 has never been more transparently the wrong decision to make at any point in time. So Star Wars Outlaws, man, the best of luck. It's a wide open August. There was a point in time where if Ubisoft had a big AAA release on the schedule, people would be excited for it. But the more we see about this game, the more we have reason not to be excited and not to give those French-Canadian hacks a dime of your hard-earned money. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.